Hey folks, this is Jake Davis with my picks for the Best Supporting Actress of 2022. I've already posted my video covering my picks for Best Supporting Actor, so go check that out if you'd like. Just get right into it. Number 5, I'd say Carrie Condon for The Banshees of Inisherin. I've talked before about this movie. The whole setup here is, of course, a rivalry over unknown reasons between two former best friends in a small village in Ireland 100 years ago. Uh, Carrie is the younger sister of the main character, Colin Farrell, and she's, shows, the kind of situation a lot of women were in that time. She's looking down the barrel of 40. She has no children. She's never been wed. So it's just kind of been expected that her place is to kind of take care of her foolish, drunk big brother who's also has no kids and has never been wed. She's really the only sane person in this village of everyone's either a fool or just mean or insane, but or drunk. But it's a very strong performance and very funny, and you really kind of feel for her. And even when she makes certain decisions in the film, it's you can see how it's genuinely a situation where it kills her to do it, and she has to. It's well, I don't want to ruin the movie for you. Even though I've talked about spoilers, but I don't want to give away too many spoilers. She's phenomenal in it. Number 4, Zoe Kravitz for The Batman. I was actually considering Zoe for a Best Actress nomination until I actually saw that she really only has 10, 15 minutes of screen time. In my opinion, for the exception of Halle Berry, every woman who's ever played Catwoman has done a good job. Even Cameron Bicondova on Gotham. This was maybe my favorite. Maybe, I don't know, man. Michelle Pfeiffer's so iconic to me. But at the same time, this was definitely my favorite take on Selena. I really liked where I also really liked Nolan's version of basically doing her entire character arc in the comics in one film. Thought that was well done. But here, she is a very layered and mysterious character, kind of set up. At first, you think she's going to be Catwoman. She's kind of Frank Miller kind of Catwoman. She's sexually, she's bisexual. She's works in the kind of not really sex worker in this like she was in that, but she's what's the word I'm looking for? She's a server at this criminal nightclub, and she's also this cat burglar who's got this complicated situation. She's not, she will kill you if she thinks she's backed into a corner, and how she's kind of played as this wonderful take on a femme fatale, but also as the elements of what Batman could be, both in a good way and a bad way. He could lean down Selena's path where he no longer cares about killing people. And it's never really confirmed if she ever does kill anybody in the movie. But the murder of Falcone, the murder of her, spoiler, her father, would have been something she couldn't ever take back, no matter what he did to her. That's just a dark line no one should ever want to cross, ever have to cross. And I thought her work in this film was really emotional, really powerful. Unlike most previous Batman movies, some of my favorite shit in this were the quiet conversations between him and Selena while they're working. They're trying to solve this case. There's this interest, not just an attraction, but a genuine interest. Both of them are curious and fascinated by the other person. And I thought she was terrific, and I thought it was a wonderful portrayal of Catwoman, both in performance and in the script. Number three, I would say Kate Hudson as in Glass Onion. Glass Onion was one of the last movies I saw this year and one of my absolute favorites. I had a blast with this film. I've seen it 3 times now. And Kate Hudson is one of the best things about the movie. She just is so entertaining, so energetic. It's just every positive thing she has, she brings to it. Not just her good looks, but her charm, her comedic timing, her legacy in the business as this kind of playing off in her character. I mean, I wouldn't be a bit surprised if this role was written specifically for her and no one else was ever intended to play her, to play Birdie. She is an heiress, both her father, her mother, and her stepdad are all famous people. She's been in the public eye her whole life. She was one of the most beautiful it girls around when she was in her early 20s and stuff like that. But she kind of feels now like she's clinging on the outskirts of fame. Unlike that, last part, it is more or less Kate Hudson playing herself, but as this dolt, as kind of the caricature that Goldie would play back in the early 70s, like on Laugh-In and some of her early movies even. I think it is my dad used the absolutely perfect word. It is a delightful performance. Every scene she's in, she brings a smile to your face. And especially the ending when she is the first of the friends to step up in the revolt. Oh, I loved it. I loved it. I fucking loved her in this. She was wonderful. Number two. Man, I actually really had to struggle back and forth between 1 and 2. But, hold on one second. So, like I said, between my top 2, I really was going back and forth. But my runner-up is going to be Nicole Kidman from The Northman. To point out, Anya Taylor-Joy, also very, very good in this. Considered her as well. But as I said, I don't like, when I'm doing in my top 5s, I don't like to have 2 performances from the same movie. Because I'll just talk about the same movie and twice in the same video. Well, anyway. So, basically, The Northman is just savage, vicious Viking movie. The Viking movie, I can't be the only guy who's just been sitting back their whole life. Why can't we get one of these kind of realistic, vicious, brutal style action movies like Viking movies? Like, it's my understanding at one time, Mel Gibson was going to direct one with DiCaprio, and that fucking sounds like it would have been awesome, to be honest with you. But this was an amazing movie, just visually, and it was relentless, and it was, because he was directed by Robert Eggers, same guy who did The Lighthouse and The Witch, his whole gimmick is authenticity, so it wasn't bolted down by the made-for-modern audiences nonsense, because no matter what story you're trying to tell, you shouldn't be concerned about what the modern audience is going to be. It's going to be your story, and hope your story finds an audience. That's what separates content from art, I guess. So the whole bulk of her character is spoilers here, because she's the mother of our main character, whose family is betrayed by their uncle, murders his father right in front of him, and sends men to kill his son. The man who failed to kill the boy claims he did, and is lied to the new king, as he's taken Nicole Kidman, the queen, for his new wife. Decades go by, and the boy is now a savage warrior, Alexander Skarsgård, and he is visited by a witch who basically tells him his destiny. He's going to have to do this, and he will be brought to his vengeance. And it's a really fucking badass, brutal movie. But the huge, massive twist here is she's the villain. She arranged the whole thing. She betrayed her husband and ordered the murder of her son, because she couldn't just have him be a reminder in her new life with her new family. Evil, evil fucking woman. And it's amazing the way that this movie is able to develop these characters in such a wretched, monstrous way. Sure, you can make you with something like Game of Thrones. You have 8 hours with Joffrey of one scene after the other to let just really hate him and want him dead. But we are just dealing with even a 2.5 hour movie. There's a limited amount, and all these other characters that takes place over years. I mean, to have this like 10-year-old boy that is really so horrible, you just like you don't want to see your main character kill this child, but you understand why you would. But yeah, Nicole Kidman was great, and she's probably becoming one of my. She's one of the true living female icons in Hollywood right now. She's like Tom Cruise. She's this timeless. She's not aging, and she just seems to be getting better with age. She's like a fucking fine wine. This woman. God bless Nicole Kidman. Love her. And gonna pause this before I get to number one. Okay, so all right, my number one, our winner, my pick for the best supporting actress of 2022, Jamie Lee Curtis for Everything, Everywhere, All at Once. Man, I don't even know what to say. Okay, so I've talked about this movie already in the last video. But so many things about her character. I just don't even know where to start. All right. Well, just first off, the reason I decided to go with her is because not only is she great in it, her comedic timing, which is on point as always. The fact that they cast this woman who once had easily like one of the best bodies in Hollywood, to who now at 63 to play this character who is designed to be as repulsive as possible. And she achieved this by saying, just don't give me any movie makeup. Don't put any prosthetics on me. Just let me be my flabby old lady self. And it kind of really brought out something in her. And just the physical elements of her performance all around that, where no matter, there's these constant variants and adjustments to her posture, to her walk, to even her accent. It's a very, very impressive performance. And on top of all that is there's her character. There's this, like everyone else, she's at first built to kind of be this stand-in for oppressive, not understanding, even racist representation, figurehead of the government against immigrants. And just like everyone else, it's subverted. She's not this villain or even a bad person. She's just another scared and lonely person who needs somebody to go home to at the end of the day. And it's a touching arc she goes through. And then there's who it is. Jamie Lee Curtis. Been a movie star since her first film. Household name my entire life. I don't know when I first heard of Jamie Lee Curtis. I can't tell you when it was. Y'all calm down. All right. And on top of everything, she's been in the business her whole life. Her parents were both Oscar-nominated movie stars. Were also household names. Just I've always been a fan. I guess I really started becoming a fan of Jamie Lee Curtis when she was in True Lies. And I'm gonna sit back. I'll tell you when she wasn't good in certain films, when she made bad choices. The fact that she basically is just walking through the last two Halloween movies, like she's barely awake, like especially the last one. What was that one movie? Oh, what was that called? Horror film. They're like, she's part of the ski, like they're high seas scavengers or some shit, and they come across some kind of like demon technology possessed boat kind. It was fucking stupid. It's like her and one of the Baldwins, Donald Sutherland. It came out in like the late '90s, I think. It was really, really dog shit. But like the movies she did with John Cleese were excellent. Trading Places was terrific. The first two Halloween movies and Halloween H2O were great. And fuck, man, I honestly think she should have been nominated for an Oscar for True Lies. Uh, Especially when you see some of the women who were nominated for Best Actress that year. Jodie Foster for Nell, a movie that the critics and audiences ripped apart. They still nominated for an Oscar because fuck, at least it's Jodie Foster. But yeah, Jamie Lee Curtis is terrific in this, and one of the highlights of just an amazing movie that hopefully shows the rest of the industry that we can still save movies. It doesn't all have to go. It doesn't all have to die because of streaming. Honorable mention, sure. Stephanie Azou as Joy is also just terrific in Everything Everywhere All at Once, and probably the most showboat performance in the film. Joey King, in my opinion, movie star-making performance in Bullet Train. Whether you want to call her the Prince, the schoolgirl, she's the Diesel. Nev Campbell and Courtney Cox, both, like with David Arquette, were terrific in Scream 5. The whole them actually being smart, especially these two, because it's like, Nev, because she's not even scared of these fuckers anymore. They're just a bunch of fucking twerps to her. Brittany Snow was wonderful in Etz, brought a lot of interesting elements to her character. It's basically just a porn star in a slasher movie, but she really did something with the role in a movie that really tried to do something with everything it was doing. And to the same, flip side of that brilliant work is Tandy Wright's wonderful performance as the mother in Pearl. Her scenes, her arguments, final argument, especially with Pearl, is just so fucking gripping. Rachel Sennot's hysterical performance in Bodies, Bodies, Bodies. She was just so fucking great in that. She was wonderful in that. A very high hat, honey.
Captain America.
That's a Captain America guy, yeah. Captain America speaker. I thought Madeline McGraw was. You want to say hi? You are so messy.
Captain America fingers.
Captain America fingers? No, we're not doing that. No. So, and Madeline McGraw in The Black Phone, I thought was a performance. Okay, now take it out in the other room. Madeline McGraw delivered a very, very terrific performance, a very mature